Hello everyone, a warm good evening to all of you, and I would like to welcome to all to our this session of YouTube channel. I would like to extend my thank you to all of you to allow me to teach on theory of justice on these important days. It's my honor to impart the knowledge on theory of justice. So, hello everyone. I would like to ask you how are you? I hope you all are good and fine. So today we'll discuss about theory of justice, and apart from that our today class will based on both language, Odia and English. Since last few days student has been demand to take a class on theory of justice, so I think I cannot avoid your query. So here the result before you that we are going to discuss about theory of justice. And let me tell you the objective of the today class. What is the objective of today class? Because I believe तुमे समस्ते जानिछ अबाउट थियोरी ऑफ जस्टिस. तुमे मास्टर रे पढ़िछ, तुमे तुम यूजी रे मध्य पढ़िछ. यू ऑल स्टडी अबाउट द थियोरी ऑफ जस्टिस in your master, in your graduations. So there is unknown about you. But what is the special thing in our today's class? Let me clarify you one thing. That the objective of today's class to understand the concept of justice in detail and depth understanding. Okay? To develop a depth understanding with the detailed way of the meaning of justice. Then followed by second thing, it helps to you for the exam, not only the exam but also for your complete understanding on justice. Okay, so it helps not only for exam but also for complete understanding of the concept of justice. Heading to the third point, to develop an analytical understandings. Okay, so to develop an analytical understandings, then followed by the fourth thing, to guide how to present a topic in interview. Okay, to guide how to present a topic in interview. I believe in most of students in my class, they had not qualified the SSB lecture or last times because of the lack of preparation in interview, the lack of communication skill, the lack of conceptual presentations before the interview member. So from that angle it's very important. Then last not the least, to know the impact of substantive justice on the realization of the democracy, how it helps to realization of democracy in 18 Lok Sabha elections, or recently we have elected the 15th Chief Minister of Odisha, the third tribal Chief Minister of Odisha. From this point of view, it's very important to understand about the concept of justice, and I don't want to consume your time in this moment. I would like to start. So today's headline you can see, a comparative study of theory of justice from ancient Greek to the Greek period to the contemporary period. Yes. So we cover today's session will cover the theory of justice from ancient Greek period to the contemporary period. So why this topic is important? Why it's important, and how it important, and what is important? Why important? Because concept of justice has been available since ancient Greek to till date. Okay, from Plato, Aristotle, we have studied regarding the theory of justice to till the contemporary time like John Rawls, Robert Nozick, Thomas Pogge. This concept of justice has been prevailed. But it is became significant to understand the dynamic of justice. Now, why it became importance? Because of its dynamics natures. Because of its dynamics natures. How? Now, in the emergence of socio-political system, be it at international level and national level, justice is a major challenge. To protect justice is a major challenge. For example, Hamas and Israel war. Okay, in this war, a lot of people have lost their life, and it's a death of democracy or death of justice. We can say that. In our India context, the violence in Manipur, a lot of people have killed, a lot of people have also raped. So it is also the death of democracy and death of justice. And recently, the Hooch tragedy. So Hooch tragedy in Tamil Nadu also one of the example that how the justice at a problematic situations. So to elaborate these all the things, seems justice concept is very very important for understand its nature, its scope, its dimensions. And what is the main thing you need to keep in your mind for your examinations? Now this concept will be helpful to cover the questionnaire examination, and it will also develop a depth understanding regarding the concept of justice. So I will simply suggest you, those are plan to skip the video in middle of the class, it's not good for you. To develop a better understanding, you need to completely watch this video, because I am making video guys only for you. So what is justice? And justice means the aim or maintenance of the social order. To maintain a social order, to maintain a harmony or coordinations among different class of the society, that is justice. It attempt to develop ethical and moral understanding based on the social arrangement. How to develop a moral understanding in social arrangement, and to develop a ethical understanding in social arrangement, that is the justice. So let quickly cover the different meaning of justice by the different thinker with the help of this table. So first and foremost, the Plato. So Plato's idea of justice is based on what? The one person, one duty, one class, one work. Okay, so again repeating, one person, one duty, one class, and one work. So we can say that it is a functional point of view. According to justice, according to Plato, the meaning of justice based on functional point of view, that if the person will function according to their virtue, according to their talent, with non-interference with other activity, that is known as justice. That is how the functional point of view. And Plato is not out of the criticism. His concept of justice is being criticized as it follow the rigid concept. And Karl Popper, one of the historical analytical thinker, who said the Plato is a totalitarian thinker. Plato is an enemy of open society. Plato is an enemy of open society, said by whom? Karl Popper. Apart from that, if you have a paper and pen with you, just write down that who said Plato is a enemy to the open society. So you need to remember the Karl Poppers. There had been a questions in multiple times that who said Plato enemy of open society. That is how Karl Popper. Then in the line of our discussions, heading to next the Aristotle. Aristotle is considered as father of political philosophy, and his idea of justice is based on proportional justice. What? Proportional justice, that means equal should treat equally and unequal should treat unequal. In this concept, most of the students have a confusion. What does it mean by proportional justice? Proportional means what? The meaning of proportional argue that different individuals have a different share of contribution to the social system, to the political systems, or to their own existence. So according to their proportions, according to their share of existence or share of the political contribution, they should treat accordingly. Say for example, master and slave. A master need a different facility, and on other hand your slave need a different facility, and there is unequal relations. So master have a different contribution to the society, and the master should get according to their due. The slave have a different contribution to the society, and according to the slave also get their due. So this is how proportional justice that talks about each and according to their own existence or the contribution to the society, they should get the due rights, they should get the due requirement. Okay, that is how the proportionate theory of justice. And it is also known as the regulation of human relations. So your justice concept by Plato also known as the regulation of human relation. Like it's a regulation, it is a regulated function of human relation, that how the relation of human is exist, like master and slaves. How the relation of the master and slaves, they have the unequal relation, they should get the unequal treatment. Apart from that, your Aristotle is not also out of the criticism. Okay, so there was a question in your SSB 2023 that Aristotle's theory of citizenship is not available for the women, for the old man, for the children. So from that point of view, people criticized that Aristotle is a anti-humanism. Aristotle anti-humanism because it neglect the woman's intellect, it neglect the old people's existence. But however, Aristotle is considered as a great contributor to the political theory. So there was also a question in SSB 2023. Then moving to the next, Rawls, John Rawls' theory of justice, and John Rawls talk about the distribution of the social goods. So John Rawls talks about the distribution of the social goods, and he talk about 5 primary social goods. What are that? Rights, liberty, income, dignity, and wealth. So these are the 5 type of the primary goods, social primary goods, and distribute these according to the fair and the procedural, the free and fair procedure. Rawls adopt to the concept of the veil of ignorance followed by original positions, different principles. So apart from that, I would like to tell you the relation between these things, Plato and the Rawls. So Plato, Aristotle's theory of justice is present to the classical view of justice based on the ethics, morality, based on virtue, okay, based on the ideal order. But Rawls' theory of justice is based on contemporary order. It is based on idea of the pragmatic in natures, okay. So it is the justice concept of the 20th century, but this one is the ancient or the your classical theory of justice. Then after Rawls theory of justice, a number of thinkers had criticized Rawls theory of justice, and they developed the theory of justice to a critique to the general theory of justice, starting from Robert Nozick. So as you know, Robert Nozick wrote a book, Anarchy, State and Utopia. So Anarchy, State and Utopia, the book was written by Robert Nozick in 1974, and he developed a theory of justice is known as the entitlement theory of justice. Okay, so entitlement theory of justice is developed by Robert Nozick, and there he talks about the three principles of justice. How many principles of justice? Three principles of justice, that just acquisitions, just acquisitions, just your transfer, and just ratifications. Okay, again repeating, just acquisition, just transfer, and just ratification. The three principles of justice is given by Robert Nozick, and he said the state is a night watchman. What does it mean by night watchman of the state? That state has nothing to do with respect to beyond the individual's right, liberty and property. The state will only protect the life, liberty and property of the individuals. That is the concept of night watchman. Similarly, like a watchman protect the house, protect the, that means property, protect the people, that means their liberty. And the night watchman is not the question on you, that where did you go, तमें कौन कर लो, तमें केते लेट नाइट घर आस, द नाइट वॉचमैन डोंट आस्क यू. So similarly, the state no need to ask how many rupees a individual invest to purchasing a car. So night watchman states, he talk about the state is nothing but a night watchman. Then moving to the another scholar, that Amartya Sen wrote a book, a development as a freedom, an idea of justice. Okay, and he developed a capability approach. In contrast to the general theory of justice. Your John Rawls believe the justice means the just distribution of the social goods, just distribution of the universal social goods, that is right, liberty, income, dignity and the wealth. But Amartya Sen says that justice is not merely the distribution of the social goods, but justice is about the human would realize the value as they could realize. तो तुम मान गोटे एग्जांपल देवी, सपोज धरिन गवर्नमेंट कौन कला साइकिल देदेला पिला, गवर्नमेंट कौन कला साइकिल देदेला पिला. ओके, सो गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड द फ्री डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ द साइकिल टू द हाई स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स, बट देर इज नो गुड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स. फॉर एग्जांपल, देर इज नो पक्का रोड, and the people, the student have no knowledge about how to ride the cycle in the NH road, in the Pakka road. So people have what? Lack of infrastructure. People have what? Lack of capacity. So Amartya Sen question here, how the people can exercise or realize their due rights or due values. Only providing the resource and the goods not enough for the justice. Justice is about to make them realize, okay, to make them realize. So he provided the capability approach that make the people capable enough that they would realize their value as they could realize, okay. And apart from the theory, it is also important that Amartya Sen, a Nobel Prize winner, and he is the first chancellor of Nalanda University after being it recognized as the Central University in 2014. Recently, Honorable Prime Minister inaugurated a different infrastructure program in your Nalanda University, and from that point of view, Amartya Sen is very, very important. Then on this line, our next thinker is the feminist theory. So feminist theory also criticized John Rawls' theory of justice. And before highlighting about the what did the feminist theory argue, would like to point out here, in our political science there is a legacy that after each and every famous theory and famous idea, there are followed by a number of criticisms to that idea, and that is a beauty of the political science, because political science recognize the criticisms. Political science recognize the criticism. Political science accepts its own mistakes. ଯେମିତିକି ମୁଁ ତୁମକୁ ଏକ୍ଜାମ୍ପଲ୍ ଦେଇପାରି, recently I had make a video on the expected date of the SSB lecture and PGT, and in that video people freely comment that your English is not correct, you are speaking English in a wrong way, you need to improve your English, you need to develop your communication skill, and I accept because I know I am not good in English. तो से मुझे चैनल माध्यम तुमको मोर प्रैक्टिस करुच्ची टीच करुच्ची. तो दिस इज हाउ द पॉलिटिकल साइंस इज ऑल अबाउट recognize the criticisms, recognizing the mistakes and accept that and take a lesson for a future actions. So coming to our class theory, that feminist theory of scholar also criticize that justice is lies in elimination of the male dominated society. They said that Rawls talk about the distribution of the social primary goods with the help of veil of ignorance. But who are the people who will be distributed these social primary goods? Are the women also the part of these peoples? तो women ମଧ୍ୟ କ'ଣ ସେ veil of ignorance ରେ people ଥିବା ସେମାନଙ୍କର part ଅଛନ୍ତି କି ଯେତେବେଳେ distribution of primary good କରାଯାଉଛି କ'ଣ society जो पार्टियार्की सोसाइटी अच्छी जो इनइक्वालिटी सोसाइटी एक्जिस्ट कर आखि रखी कौन आमर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कर नो बिकॉज अकॉर्डिंग टू जॉन रॉल्स द पीपल आर नो नथिंग. सो हाउ कैन यू से दैट इट्स जस्टिस इफ यू नॉट इंक्लूडिंग द फैमिली इन द डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ द सोशल गुड्स? हाउ कैन यू कंसिडर इट इज अ जस्टिस? सो इन दैट कंटेक्स्ट सुसान रॉकिन said the family is the first unity of justice, and she wrote a book, Gender, Justice and Family. So Gender and Justice, a family book wrote by Susan Muller Rockin. Similarly, your Carol Patman wrote a book, Sexual Contract. Okay, then your Carol Gilligan wrote a book In a Different Voice. So according to Carol Gilligan, the state should adopt the nature and the value of women. What is the nature and value of the woman? To care, to protect her son, to protect her family, to protect her father and the mother. The female value always in caring in natures. So if you accommodate those female value in the function of the state, then there will be no war, there will be no violence, there will be no such kind of violence in Manipur or such kind of the war between Israel and Hamas or Russia and Ukraine. If the woman is the ruler of your society. Let example, who is ruling in Israel? सेटा कौन कि women person rule करछति कि no, it's a male figure. Who ruling in your Ukraine or the Russia? Women? No, it's a male figure. In Russia, Vladimir Putin. In your like Ukraine, the your Zelensky. So men are ruling. That's why violation is created. And feminist theory believe that the Carol Gilligan emphasized that the woman carrying nature should accommodate in the state natures. That is how the main idea of the theory of justice. Then on this line, communitarian theory of justice, Michael Sandel and Michael Walzer, one of the important thinker who emphasize the community welfare than the individual welfare, who emphasize the community good, the common good is way more important than the individual good. We are born in a community, then we recognize our rights according to our value of the community. Let me provide an example. In America, to have a car it's a luxury, but in India to have a car, sorry, my mistakes, in America to have a car it's a need, but in India to have a car it's a luxury. And communitarian theory of justice believes that different things and different meaning of the different thing are different in the different culture, different society, different community. Another example I can provide you, Muslim manang community cow, to eat cow it is a good thing, it is not injustice. But in Hindu community or Hindu religion, to eat a cow it's injustice. So you can conclude that meaning of justice according to communitarian theory based on the values or history or culture of the community. So they reject simple equality, they talks about complex equality. Equality is not universal, not a uniform, okay, not a standard, it is a complex, it depend on the situation, culture and different thing. So Michael Walzer wrote a book, The Sphere of Justice, okay, in 1983. And John Rawls wrote a book, The Theory of Justice, in 1971. Then the global justice concept, global justice by Thomas Pogge. And Thomas Pogge famous for the concept of global resource dividend. So global resource dividend, this concept is given by Thomas Pogge, okay, and he wrote a book, World Poverty and Human Rights. World Poverty and Human Rights, the book wrote by your Thomas Pogge. And the global justice believe in responsibility of wealthy people from the developed country to contribute the resource in order to eliminate the poverty from the underdeveloped country. So what is global justice? Thomas Pogge extend the Rawls theory of justice to the global level. John Rawls talk about justice only in the states, but Thomas Pogge believe if in your state there is no resource, how can you ensure the justice? Suppose धरिन तुम घरे खाइबा पैसा नहीं, तुम केमती शांति सोई परिबो? If you have no food to eat, how can you sleep silently or in a hygienic mind? No. So for maintain justice in your home, you require resource. And who will provide the resource? According to Thomas Pogge, this wealthy people of the developed country, as they responsible as a human, they need to contribute the resource in order to eliminate the poverty from the underdeveloped country. तो ग्लोबल जस्टिस से कहते ना जो आमर वेलफेयर आमर वेल्दी कंट्री अच्छा लाइक वेस्टर्न कंट्री है, दे हैव लाइक ड्यूटी, तो से कौन कर रिसोर्स को कंट्रीब्यूट करार डेभलप्ड कंट्री को डेभलपिंग कंट्री को, जहाँफल से कौन करेंगे पॉवर्टी को एलिमिनेट करेंगे. बर्तमान आम ओडिशा रे पॉवर्टी अच्छी, तो ओडिशा हाउ कैन वी एलिमिनेट द पॉवर्टी फ्रॉम ओडिशा? दो वी हैव a lack of resource. So you require fund from the central government, we require fund from the foreign direct investments, then only we can eliminate the poverty. So that is how global justice according to Thomas Pogge. Okay, according to the Thomas Pogge. Then so Thomas Pogge to like they basically beautifully clarify about the theory of justice. And this is how we have discussed from Plateau to till the global justice. The Thomas Pogge, the idea in 2000, I guess 2000, he 1998. Okay, he get 1998. He presented the theory of justice. Okay, and the important thing is that the Thomas Pogge is a student of John Rawls, and you can see how Thomas Pogge criticized the Rawls theory of justice, though he is a student of the John Rawls. So that is how legacy is followed in our political science. Okay, Okay, so this is all about from the contemporary to the ancient Greek to the contemporary times. Now I am going to quickly discuss with you the difference between classical view of justice and modern view of justice. How the two concepts are the two period different from each other. Your classical view of justice is based on duty, based on moral ethics, virtue, ideal social order, defend the slavery, inequality, hierarchy. According to the classical view of justice, this is the justice. This is the principle of justice. Okay. So, like your Plateau and Aristotle, they are not. They are not talk about. They did not talk about the rights. They did not talk about the liberty of the individual. They talk about it's a duty of individual to perform their activity, to discharge their activity for maintenance of the social order. Plato provided a radical view of justice to transform the existing social order. Okay, and they believe it's a virtue. It is a virtue that tell the individual that to do their duty. Plato never talk about the rights of individual. Only emphasize the duties. The duty of individual to do the activity, like soldier class will protect the state, philosopher class will rule the states, and producing class will produce the things. So it is a duty only, not nothing more than that. Okay, that is the basically idea of justice according to the classical view of the justice. And they support slavery also. According to them, slavery is also a part of the principle of justice. But in modern view of justice, they believe on idea of equality, liberty, social justice. Okay, equality, liberty, these are the principle of the modern political thinker, modern political principles. From the 16th 17th century onwards, this principle has been in the limelight. They promote the social justice. They talks about social change. They talks about elimination of exploitation and oppressive social system, and they present a humanitarian view. In the classical view of justice, there is a lack of humanitarian view, but modern view of justice, they have the humanitarian view, that the human should live as a humans. Being a human, they should also access to the basic need, the basic requirement, and they treat as a humans, irrespective of its the knowledge, talent, and different things. So that is the humanitarian view or humanitarian values. Okay, that is how the modern view of justice. So this is like the difference between the classical view of justice and modern view of justice. So this is all about from my side, and from the above discussion we can conclude that justice should be in holistics, a multidimensional, facilitate the social change, cater the need of the people. After all, the diversity should be entertained, but in the light of humanitarian view and also preserving the unity and integrity of the nations. Okay, so justice should be holistic. Justice should be multidisciplinary natures. You will not allow to exercise the justice in the name of culture, which will violate the human rights. So justice means humanitarian natures. Justice means it's a protect the very integrity and the unity of our nations. So this is all about from my side. My name is Tapas Kumar Pradhan, and I believe with this note I could able to reach to your level of understandings with respect to these topics. If you have any doubt, or if you have any feedback regarding my communication skill or my English or my conceptual clarity, you are free to put your thought, express your thought without any kind of the negligence. So this is all about from my side. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much for being part of this beautiful and lectures. In upcoming day, what are the thing you want? Please tell me. I will definitely make a list of these things to reach out with a quality content. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. And please subscribe. Thank you.